I was actually very excited to leave because it was an opportunity of my career, once in a lifetime opportunity. So I was very excited and looking forward to the experiences that I was about to have in Afghanistan. It was definitely sad saying goodbye to family and friends, but I was more looking forward to the positives of the trip and the nature of what can possibly happen over there. I actually recall when I first got there and getting my first call out, I kind of actually said to myself, all right, Hollie, this is war, game on, like be prepared. So I worked in the Role 2 medical facility in Tarin Kot. So there was Dutch, American and Australian, and we had a rotation of Singaporean. So I was a medic. We conducted sick parade every day on our Australian soldiers that were in Tarin Kot, and also were on resus duties. So every Australian soldier that came in, it was our responsibility to be there to treat them, as well as any local, national or other coalition soldiers that presented. So we had some amazing equipment there for the conditions that we worked in. So we had some X-ray, pathology. We had 3 surgical beds, 4 trauma bays, ICU, a ward, a dental, physio, was all there where I worked. Flying in, I kind of thought, where am I? This is just dusty and like little shanty towns everywhere and crops all over the place. Then we land on a big dusty airfield and I was like, wow, this is where I'm going to be living for the next 9 months of my life. And I was shocked at how primitive it all was and the living conditions that we were going to be living in Afghanistan. I had a job to do. I knew there was a threat there, but I kind of tried to put that at the back of my mind. We carried our rifles everywhere we went, in case we needed to use them. But as for the actual threat, we knew it was there. Our actual accommodation got rocketed one night when we were there, and me being the medic, I kind of jumped out of bed and grabbed my med pack first thing and opened up the door and started screaming out, is everyone okay? How many casualties have we got? Because I thought that could be a day where I would have to treat a lot of Australian casualties. Thankfully, the accommodation that we're in protected us all, and we were able to sort of regroup, regather and go back to sleep and call it a near miss. We lived in a tiny little shipping container with 4 other girls, so there's no privacy whatsoever, and they were all that was in there was two bunk beds. So when we got there, we got a few of the boys to actually make us some shelving and stuff that we could actually put our clothes on, as opposed to living out of a bag for 9 months. The mess facility was huge, a massive mess, and they fed a lot of people. The food was definitely, you were able to survive on it, but there was nothing gourmet that came out of those kitchens. Predominantly, I spent most of my downtime going to the gym, just trying to unwind from my day's work and often hang around with mates. So we'd play cards, we'd watch movies together, tell jokes, have a little bit of banter, as you do. And that was kind of it. Working in the hospital, we had a very close-knit relationship. So we'd often go and play basketball against the Singaporeans and throw banter around, have games of soccer with the Dutchies, as the World Cup was on then, and they are just soccer mad, absolute fanatics. So a typical day often varied, so we'd get just Australian soldiers coming in with the normal gastro, tonsillitis, skin infections, things like that we would treat. And then sometimes we could have 4 casualties in a day come through the trauma bay at all different hours, or other times we might not have any for 4 or 5 days. So it depends. We would normally work from 7:30 to 5 o'clock every day, and then afterwards we'd be on call. So we're always in our rooms, and they would run over and come and grab us if there was an incoming casualty. And we would definitely be there first on the scene for any Australian. So there was lots of work with the locals that came in, lots of different cases that varied from burns to TB, tetanus, IED blasts, gunshot wounds, pneumonias. And it was a lot easier to detach yourself from that situation compared to your soldiers, because once again, it's just like you're treating another human being as opposed to one of your brothers. They were all quite skinny and scrawny, and we had children coming in with burns on their legs that were oozing green pus that in Australia that wouldn't happen. They'd be treated well and truly before it got to that stage. We would often try and worm all the children that come in, try and give them tetanus boosters and things like that to increase the health of them. Definitely IED wounds were probably the biggest casualties that come forward out of the battle. And a lot of them were actually more locals than what they were Australian soldiers. You go through the training in your head, and then to actually see a cut alpha, whether it's an amputated leg, arm, an IED or a patient's just an absolute mess, is very confronting. That's something that I haven't seen in textbooks, and many doctors in Australia wouldn't have seen or done. So once we got that call in, everything was done at 100 miles an hour. We were running from here to there, getting our equipment, getting blood ready. What have we got to do? We've got to do DR, A, B, C. Have we got this? Have we got this? let's prepare everything and get organised. So we all knew where we stood and we all knew each other's role. But the actual destruction and carnage that came in were things that are in my mind and will stay there for a long time. And it's something you've got to really detach yourself from the person. Yes, it's a human being, and yes, they're a mess right now, but let's take a step back. I'm actually a medic first. Let's save this person's life. I know it's someone's son, brother, sister, husband, but right now I've got to do all I can to save this person's life. And there's a few instances where I had actually my friends come in and I had to treat them, and they were the most hardest moments for me, trying to detach myself, although I can see that my friend is in pain and a mess in front of me, and to know that I'd often have to inflict pain on them to do good. And they'd be holding my hand and screaming, but I had to do a job first. PTSD is a big factor not only for all soldiers, but the medical profession takes a large hit as well. It definitely takes a strong soldier and a certain person to be a medic, to deal with what you have to deal with on a daily basis. Whether it's your friend, whether it's the enemy, unfortunately, who's just hurt your friend, that you've then got to treat because they're a higher medical priority than your friend. Those things like that are quite hard, and the courage it takes to be able to do those type of things. Definitely it's changed me as a person. I can 100% say that. I'm so more appreciative of Australia now and the things that I have. To see people without anything basically, and they're still happy with life, definitely makes me appreciate my life a lot more. On a medical perspective, the things that I learnt, the things that I've seen, the lives that I helped change, I'm definitely proud of the trip that I did and the work I did over there and the people I was over there with. In my perspective, it was an amazing experience. There was nothing more prouder than having a patient come into you who was on death's row, looking after them for a month and then having them walk out the door and knowing that I just saved that person's life.